ಫೆಲಿವೆಗಳು ಮದುಮಾ ದುಂಫತ್ ಕೇಸ್ತಿಮಾಲ್ ಕುರುಂ ಅದಿ ರಾಬುಯಿಂ ಫದ ಆದಕಾದ ತಂ ಹಿಮೆನೆ
Making headlines this hour, President Dr. Mohammad Moiz pledges comprehensive development for the island of Lohi, Nono Atoll, assuring residents that all proposed projects will be delivered to their satisfaction. Minister Adam Sharif Umar says President Dr. Mohammad Moiz's recent visit to Nono Atoll reaffirmed his administration's commitment to decentralized governance and the prioritization of public input in national development efforts. And the government formalizes an agreement to expand the Mafaro Health Center's bed capacity from 3 to 21. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Idham Naim. President Dr. Mohammad Moiz pledges comprehensive development for the island of Lohi, Nono Atoll, assuring residents that all proposed projects will be delivered to their satisfaction. The visit marks the final stop of his tour of Nono Atoll and introduced a new sports infrastructure alongside in-depth consultations with community leaders and residents. Addressing residents during a public meeting, President Moiz underscored his administration's determination to fulfill Lohi's development requirements. He noted the breadth of proposals outlined by the community and signaled his commitment to careful implementation. The island's harbour was among the principal undertakings, with the President confirming that community-requested changes to its development would be fully adopted. A slipway will be included to accommodate vessel launching and hauling, he added, describing the features as essential to long-term utility. President Moiz announced that funding for a new building equipped with necessary services would be included in the forthcoming national budget, noting the current limitations at Lohi School. The President also revealed plans to upgrade the existing football field and establish a futsal pitch and volleyball court. He also pledged that Lohi's swimming area would be developed to meet international standards irrespective of population size. President Moiz further stated a ring road project is set to proceed in tandem with harbour upgrades, underscoring its importance to the island's emerging guest house tourism economy. He affirmed that all submissions made by the council and residents will be reflected in the government's development agenda. During a separate meeting with the Lohi Island Council and Women's Development Committee, the President reviewed a detailed slate of local priorities. Among the Council's requests were the proposed inclusion of Gombilivadu within Lohi's jurisdiction. The President also presided over the foundation-laying ceremony for Lohi's Fitness and Recreation Centre, officiated by Abdullah Rafiu, Minister of Sports, Fitness and Recreation. Construction of an outdoor gym commenced in parallel. President Moiz's arrival in Lohi drew a large crowd at the harbour, where residents extended a warm reception to mark the close of the Nono Atoll tour. The gathering reflected strong local engagement with the development programme outlined during his visit. Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works Adam Sharif Umar says President Dr. Mohammad Moiz's recent visit to Nono Atoll reaffirmed his administration's commitment to decentralized governance and the prioritization of public input in national development efforts. Minister Adam Sharif Umar, who accompanied the President on the tour, described the visit as a clear reflection of President Moiz's dedication to governing in accordance with the people's wishes. In a statement issued via social media, He highlighted the president's readiness to revise plans initiated by government institutions in order to ensure their alignment with the aspirations of local communities. The minister noted that the arrangement, planning, and execution of government initiatives are being actively shaped by public demand. He said that emphasis on consultation extended beyond the immediate tour, stating that this experience provided additional impetus to prioritize. He also expressed confidence in the long-term impact of President Moises' leadership. Minister Adam Sharif stated, quote, "It is certain that under the leadership of President Moises, both the decentralized system and the empowerment of citizens will see a significant increase," unquote. Throughout the visit, the president engaged directly with local stakeholders. He toured all inhabited islands with Nuno Atoll convening discussions with island councils and women's development committees. The exchanges centered on community-driven development priorities, underscoring the administration's commitment to inclusive and responsive leadership. The government formalizes an agreement to expand the Mafaro Health Center's bed capacity from 3 to 21 following appeals made by residents during President Dr. Mohamed Moises' recent tour of Nuno Atoll. Originally, the project was transferred to Fenaka Corporation on 28th July with the intention of constructing a 4-bed ward. That scope was reconsidered after local residents called for greater enhancements during President Moises' visit to Mafaro, part of a broader tour encompassing 13 islands across the region. The president met with the members of the community and pledged to honor their request for a larger facility. Before the conclusion of the visit, Fenaka Corporation was officially commissioned to implement the revised plan. Under the new agreement, the health center will be equipped to accommodate 21 beds. Minister of Health Abdullah Nazim Ibrahim signed the expansion accord on behalf of the government, while Fenaka Corporation was represented by Managing Director Muhammad Najah. The Health Ministry has also confirmed that the upgrade center will feature several additional facilities. These include a nurse station, a meeting hall, a public health unit, and a portico, forming part of a comprehensive infrastructure improvement initiative. Students across the Maldives ends the first term of the new academic year before beginning a 16-day break. All students who completed the first term have received their report cards, with the term officially ended, and the first term break will last for 16 days. The second term is scheduled to begin on 10th August and will run until 25th December, when students will start their longest break until 22nd January 2026. This academic year, around 84,000 are enrolled in 217 government schools across the island nation. Similar to other years, the number of students studying in schools in capital Male City is relatively high, with 19 different schools and 19% of the entire teaching staff teaching 33% of the entire student population. The government aims to return the academic calendar to a January start, as it was before the COVID-19 pandemic caused the shift to mid-year. The Ministry of Education has noted that many parents and students prefer the January start and has developed a plan to transition the academic year back to January in 2026. Maldives Police Service, meanwhile, is conducting a special awareness program dubbed Safe Holidays. The 3-day program, launched on 22nd July, is being conducted with the support of the Male Frontline Policing Neighborhood Support. During the Safe Holidays campaign, police are visiting crowded areas, businesses, guest houses, and households to raise public awareness on securing home and valuables before leaving on vacation. In addition, police are also raising awareness on the recent increase in scam cases and road safety amid a sharp increase in road accidents, especially in the capital, Male. A special seminar on the Evidence Act, which stipulates procedures on evidence collection in both civil and criminal cases, has begun. The seminar, organized by the Prosecutor General's Office and the Maldives National University MNU, dubbed Navigating the Evidence Act, a deep dive into the Maldivian Evidence Act with Professor Jeremy Guns from the University of Melbourne, Australia,
brings together legal minds for critical discussion and capacity building. Jeremy Guns is a professor in Melbourne Law School, where he researches and teaches across all aspects of the criminal justice system. He holds higher degrees in both law and criminology. His early research focused on fact-finding in sexual assault trials, the subject of his doctoral thesis, and a number of published articles and criminal investigation, especially the technique of DNA identification. He is the author of a criminal law treatise and a co-author of a text on evidence, law and criminal process rights. The PG office said the seminar will focus on the ways in which the existing Evidence Act can be further strengthened and legislative familiarization of relevant officials. The PG office said the discussions and lessons learned at the seminar will be important for familiarization of the current law of evidence and in the Maldives and for future use in promoting the legal profession. The Evidence Act was ratified in July 2022 and came into effect 6 months after the Act was gazetted. The Act has replaced the previous Evidence Act, which was implemented in 1976, and the Women's Testimony Act. The Evidence Act specifies the procedures to be followed when gathering evidence in civil and criminal proceedings, as well as the process to be followed when submitting, accepting and evaluating evidence. It also specifies other evidence-related elements such as the extent of evidence required to support a claim. One of the primary purposes of the Act is to ensure the necessary procedures are detailed in the form of required actions so that the right to a fair trial as per Article 42 of the Constitution is satisfied. National Identity Card Printing and Issuance Services officially launches in Lamu Atoll.
As part of a project to streamline the process and make it more accessible to citizens across the country, President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu inaugurated the project on 16th November 2024. The initiative aims to provide ID card and passport services without hassle directly from residents' localities. The Department of National Registration (DNR) said starting Thursday, the Lamu Atoll Council has begun printing national identity cards, which it said will be distributed directly to all island councils within the atoll. The DNR said the service is now available in over 27 islands across the Maldives. The department said the aim is to start printing and issuing ID cards in all atolls before the end of this year. This move away from centralized issuance in the capital Male reflects a broader campaign promised by President Dr. Muizzu. The decentralized rollout began in November of the previous year when Willingili in Gaf Alif Atoll became the first location outside Male to offer identity card service. The administration is also extending its efforts beyond national borders. Malaysia was the first foreign country to facilitate ID issuance for Maldivians, and preparations are underway to launch similar services in Sri Lanka, India and the United Kingdom, regions with significant Maldivian footfall. Government officials maintain that these domestic and overseas expansions form a part of a single integrated strategy. By the close of the calendar year, they aim to ensure the identity card services, essential to accessing a wide spectrum of public programs, are available to all Maldivians wherever they reside.
US President Donald Trump, a robust critic of Federal Reserve Chair Jeremy Powell, visits the central bank today. The White House has said a surprise move that escalates tension between the central bank and the administration.
Trump has lambasted Powell repeatedly for not cutting U.S. interest rates more aggressively, calling him a numbskull on 22nd July and amusing publicly about firing him. The Republican president nominated Powell to be Fed chair during his first term, but has soared on his peak over disagreements about interest rates and the economy. Between Trump's stints in office, Democratic President Joe Biden nominated Powell for a second term. Adding fuel to Trump's fire, White House officials have accused the Fed of mismanaging the renovation of two historic buildings in Washington, D.C., suggesting poor oversight and potential fraud. White House Deputy Chief of Staff James Blair said this week that administration officials would be visiting the Fed on 24th July, but did not say the president would join.
As president, there are a few decisions more important than nominating leaders of integrity and good judgment to hold trusted positions in public office. And few of those trusted positions are more important than the chairman of the Federal Reserve. Accordingly, it is my pleasure and my honor to announce my nomination of Jerome Powell to be the next chairman of the Federal Reserve. Congratulations, Jay.
Thank you, Mr. President.
In a schedule released to the media on 23rd July night, the White House said Trump would visit the Federal Reserve on 24th July. It did not say whether Trump would be meeting with Powell. A Federal Reserve official did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Trump has said he would like the Fed to cut its benchmark interest rates as low as 1% from the current 4.25% to 4.50% target range to reduce the government borrowing costs. This would allow the administration to finance rising deficits expected from his spending and tax cut bill. But a Fed policy rate that low is typically a sign of a country in economic trouble.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets his British counterpart Keir Starmer in London.
Modi is on his fourth state visit to the United Kingdom since he assumed office in 2014. India signed a free trade agreement with Britain, with New Delhi to ease tariffs on British whiskey, cars and some food items, and the UK offering duty-free access to Indian textiles and electric vehicles. The pact, concluded in May after 3 years of stop-start talks, should boost bilateral trade by removing numerous barriers and granting each country greater market access to the other. It will take effect after the British Parliament and India's federal cabinet approve it, likely within a year. After the UK, the Prime Minister travels to Maldives to participate at the country's 60th Independence Day celebrations. This year also marks the 60th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between India and the Maldives.
Thailand says an attack was carried out on a Thai military base and civilian areas by Cambodia as weeks of tension over a border dispute escalated into clashes between the neighboring countries.
Thai Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nikojaj Balankura said during a statement, quote, heavy artillery was fired into the Thai military base and continued throughout the morning. The attacks also targeted Thai civilian areas, including a hospital, resulting in civilian casualties and fatalities, unquote. Cambodia's defense ministry said Thai F-16 fighter jets dropped 2 bombs on a road and that it strongly condemns the reckless and brutal military aggressions of the Kingdom of Thailand against the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Cambodia. The skirmishes came after Thailand recalled its ambassador to Cambodia late on 23rd July and said it would expel Cambodia's envoy in Bangkok after a second Thai soldier in the space of a week lost a limb to a landmine that Bangkok alleged had been laid recently in the disputed area.
Spain's Aitana Bonmatí strikes a superb extra time winner to fire her side to a 1-0 victory over Germany and send them through to the Women's European Championship final for the first time.
The win set up a decider against holders England in Basel on Sunday in a repeat of the 2023 World Cup final that saw the Spaniards crowned world champions for the first time. Bonmati finally broke the deadlock in the 113th minute, picking up a ball in the left channel and spotting a gap left by Germany keeper Ann-Katrin Berger at the near post before whipping a shot from a tight angle into the net. Spain captain Irene Paredes struck the foot of a post with a first-half header as her side dominated possession, with the Germans building a solid block and inviting the Spaniards to attack while they attempted to strike on the counter. Germany winger Clara Buell was impressive throughout, getting in behind the Spanish defense in the 63rd minute but shooting straight at keeper Cata Coll. With the Germans defending superbly, Spain struggled to break them down, and they were almost caught out in stoppage time when Buell had a deflected effort that Coll had to claw away, but the game ended scoreless, forcing extra time. The Germans, who came into the game with a record of 9 wins in 10 previous Euro semi-finals, looked set to drag the match to penalties, but Bonmati had other ideas. For Bonmati, who suffered a meningitis-related health scare in the lead-up to the tournament, the goal was a sweet one as the Spaniards defeated Germany for the first time at a major finals.
Jack Luzararian, the co-founder and CEO of Pittsburgh-based Gecko Robotics, left for Washington, D.C. on 22nd July for U.S. President Donald Trump's event, Winning the AI Race, which took place yesterday, the 23rd of July.
Founded in 2013, Gecko Robotics has partnered with military and private contractor companies, most recently with a defense firm, BPMI, to inspect U.S. Navy nuclear-powered aircraft carriers and submarines, as well as U.S. Steel to examine the company's plans. In June, Gecko Robotics announced a $125 million Series D, boosting its valuations to $1.25 billion. Luzaranian started Gecko Robotics because someone he knew fell and died gathering physical health data off a rope inside a power plant. The challenge for his company is, according to Luzarian, to create as many of those digital clones as possible to enable wider use of artificial intelligence.
You're going to start seeing robots everywhere. But my take is that you won't necessarily see them folding laundry or making your breakfast. But they're going to be all over physical infrastructure, doing the dirty jobs and enabling folks on the ground to be supercharged with new information and data sets to make their jobs safer and most efficient. And the company is going to benefit unfairly to those that aren't able to adapt because of an ability to predict downtime and extend the useful life of the assets, operate their facilities at 3, 4, 5% more efficiency, and also be able to get a higher return on investment per employee. These kinds of breakthroughs are what you should expect over the next 4 to 5 years. And again, those that don't move quickly are going to be the ones that get left behind. And so you'll see some pretty large shifts in stock prices.
Luzarian said he was thinking about an initial public offering, but not earlier than in 4 or 5 years.
That concludes news for now. Thank you for watching PSM News. Have a good day.
Your journey begins beneath